Okay. So I guess we can start. I don't know if you all hear us well and see properly everything. To be honest, this is the first time we we use this platform, and yeah, I saw the thumbs up. uh, so thank you very much for all of you to be here. So I will try to. Sorry, I will try to share my screen. I just want to stop the video. Okay. So hopefully you should see the the screen, my screen properly. Just write in the chat if you don't see it. And Corina, you can just interrupt me if you see anything.
Yes.
Okay, so it's a really pleasure to have you, everyone, in this event. This is our first event. The goal for us is to present a bit the thinking and the philosophy behind what we are trying to do, and explain a bit what we are trying to do with this community. So design and critical thinking. Just to yes, so this is the first time we are doing this event. I have some notes here because as you can see, I'm not so well prepared as I wish to be. So basically, I have some. So this great quote from Marshall McLuhan that define a bit the title of this event. So we become what we behold. We shape our tools, and then our tools shape us. The idea here will be driven a bit by this statement, and you will see how. But first, I would like you to connect to this Menti, to this little survey. So you can go to menti.com and type the code here, or directly type the URL you can see here. And I have some questions for you, so nothing big, or just two questions. So the first one is just to know a bit about you. So how do you consider yourself? Like what are you doing for a living? So don't hesitate to go to Menti and fill in some answers. Oh. So head of UX, product marketing, consultant and educator. Well, so we have an expert in system change and design of things, material and immaterial. Okay. Okay, UX, UXC. So, yes, we can, okay. PhD students, research activities. Okay. We just wait maybe a few seconds if anyone has anything else. And next question. So, what are your preferred tools, frameworks, or models to help you in your work? So I give some examples, but those are just examples. So feel free. So, do you see the? So you can go back to, yeah, cool, thank you. I was not sure if you you were able to feel some answers. Okay, so the first one is interesting. Tool agnostic, lean experimentation, value canvas, self-developed approach. Okay. Kinefin, CD art of hosting. So it's this is great because we will talk about our models, and I can see here that the audience is using interesting tools in UX, Figma, Personas, Google Docs, Trello. Okay. So I will move on, but feel free to add more answers. So this is really interesting because I was expecting something different, but it's wonderful to see that you're using a variety of tools, and some of you are already pretty. They know already a lot of tools that are related to system thinking and stuff like that. So really interesting. So I just want to frame a bit this way, and this is the point of the presentation and the thinking behind the community. So those tools and frameworks I wanted you to answer. They are those are models and that are parts of paradigms in general, and we share those tools and models between in our communities, and this is naturally a thing when we are coming from a specific background, like in business or in design. We know some tools that are linked to the way people work in our domain, and there's a lot of paradigms and assumptions that are made around those tools. And this is interesting because those paradigms contains a lot of assumptions, and they are answers to certain levels of complexity. So I have just a set of examples here of paradigms and tools and frameworks. So you might recognize some of them. So those are tools and frameworks that are really known in the digital space. But just a few examples, and let's be clear. Our paradigms are really helpful, but they are also really detrimental because they are limiting our views to set of predetermined expectations. And as I saw that some of you are really already know a lot of things related to Kinefin and system thinking, this is not really something new here for you, but that's a reality, and we are in the discussions with all other practitioners. We can see those kind of thinking, and so the main problem with paradigms is that we don't see what we don't expect to see, and this is something that is really this is the point of the fact that those paradigms are limiting our views. So I just want to talk now about innovation, because this is something that is really that a lot of people are discussing in the field of design and business, and even public innovation and stuff like that. So when we talk about innovation, we generally refer to something that had a significant impact on its context. And when we say something, we tend to think of an object, something that is clearly defined. But as you might know, the problem is that it's very one-on-one causal relationship, and we tend to reduce to a single event. So our doings, the most we tend to reduce the outcomes, to a single event, our doings, the most salient to us. So it's obviously an oversimplification, and this is a bias we tend to do. I love this quote from, this is a title from an article by Greg Sattel, and I think it's a summary really well the issue here. It's that it's ecosystems, not inventions, that really change the world. And so to add to this great point, we can say that if innovation is measured by the positive impact of changes in a context, then we must include all the events that led to this change. And this is more than one thing. As such, the value of an innovation is more than the sum of its constituents, and it lies in the relationships between the new thing and the interactions and relationships with its context. So we can clearly see here, so in this diagram, what we almost all the time focused on are practices around creation, production. But when we can really say that something had an impact is here downstream. And that means we need a bit more than just doing stuff. We need to understand where we are and then adapt and adapt our way of doing accordingly. So it's about change, and we as agents, we need to realize that this relationship between the challenges we are facing and the tools and paradigms we are using to tackle them. So just a brief definition of change here. So it's an act or process through which something becomes different. And that means this is transitional. Change is transitional, moving and dynamic, a dynamic state. And it brings temporary disorder in a system. And it creates opportunities for negative and positive outcomes. So this is the complexity continuum. And you might really know better this kind of, you might be more familiar with this framework, which is the Kinefin. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing it properly, but Kinefin framework from Dave Snowden. And I love this tool. It's really a good tool to understand where we are and how to act in the context. But if I come back to this view, which is about the same but displayed in a continuum, we have the ordered on one side and the chaotic on the other side, and we generally tend to want to order things generally. And what is interesting is that practitioners and communities of practices created paradigms and tools over time to address and navigate the level of complexity they were in. And this means that not all tools are adapted to fit any context. And we can see here the relationship. So either the tools and paradigms we are using are properly fit the level of complexity, or the level of complexity forces us to adapt and change our paradigms and tools to tackle the challenges here. And what we can do here is deconstructing the paradigms to understand a bit more their limitations. So when I talk about paradigms, I talk, for instance, about service design or design thinking and stuff like that. And there's a set of way of seeing the world and understanding it, and we can a bit deconstruct it. So we have the patterns of innovation. This is not me who invented this. It's from Humantific. It's a design agency. I really love what they do. And basically they display some components from almost all frameworks we are using that help us navigate the challenges. So basically, we can find, generally speaking, we can find a pattern identification, and we can find sometimes both a pattern of creation and pattern of optimization, and sometimes just one of them, it depends. And what is interesting is that we can take a paradigm, try to categorize a bit the kind of tools, exercises, and processes that they propose, and we can try to understand a bit more the time they take on identification, the type of assumptions there are at this stage, because this stage is really leading a lot of the rest of the process. So, for instance, if I'm a product designer or product manager, I tend to see the world and the challenges in terms of product, and I will assume that a lot of things that I will see can become a product or a feature of my product. And this, of course, filter this pattern identification, and then filter a bit more the optimization or the creation of new things. This means that this is another point that we need to increase our sense-making capabilities, and we need to switch from the comfort of our existing paradigms through which we look at the world as if it was a distant one. We need to cross a bit more the boundaries we created. And this means also that we need more perspectives. This is why we wish, through the design and critical thinking community, to build a collective understanding and shared knowledge and sense-making at the intersection of various practices and disciplines. So this is a bit what the construction of the idea behind design and critical thinking. We have already some ideas how we can do that, and I will let Corinna present a bit more about what's next.
Yes. So,
sorry. Back to the presentation.
So hello everyone, my name is Corinna Lupu. I live in Switzerland, and I have joined this community because I'm interested in innovation from an organizational perspective. I help organizations get more adaptive, resilient, and innovative. And that's why I am here, because of that perspective. And now I want to tell you a little bit more about what is going what are the upcoming subjects for the group. So yeah, you can go, yeah. So we already thought about a lot of subjects for the upcoming events. So some of those subjects are related to, for example, ethics. So ethics as a practical approach for innovators and designers. So for that topic, we are already talking to a couple of potential speakers. And so that could be happening pretty soon next year. And after that, we already thought about a topic related to innovation and effects on biases and the effect on bias on it. Also, one possible subject would be commoditization of design and marketing of creativity. And we also thought of another one before the next slide, street epistemology. So those are only some subjects that we are exploring, but it doesn't mean that it needs to stay to that. Then also we are exploring the possibility of bringing a different type of creative settings, with one called CampFire Sessions. So if you're not familiar with it, the idea is that 1 or 2 people per session would come in front of other participants of the group, and they would explain one issue that they have, and the other participants aren't there to find solutions, but only to give feedback after the presentation. So that would be another type of session that would happen maybe in between events that would be more about talks. So next slide, an upcoming session that is almost ready, if I'm not mistaken, is going to be about understanding the psychology of change. And the speaker is going to be Cameron Norman, if again, I'm not mistaken.
Yes, should be here in the...
You should be here. Hello. And so thank you. And now one last thing that I wanted to tell you, it's that everyone input is important to make the community alive. So either suggestion of topics or of speakers that you might know of or that you could be interested in. Within that idea of transdisciplinary approach, you're welcome to voice it, or if you want to also be part of the organization of the events. You can do that through reaching us through the Slack group, or also through the Trello board that has been created for that. And you can find the link of that Trello board also in the Slack group.
So I will share the link to the Slack.
Okay. Yes. for the people who aren't already part of the Slack group, maybe indeed.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you very much, Karina. So this is it for the presentation. Now we have more to come. We have this virtual networking session. So basically, I don't know if you had the possibility to try it, but you can join tables after the session. You can join tables and start to discuss with other attendees. We will be there as well with Corina during this session on one of the tables, where I will try to move on different tables, and yes, hope to discuss with you, and if you have some feedbacks or anything that you think is important, don't hesitate to tell us. Thank you very much.